In the 10 years since Five Nights at Freddy's release, there have been many games in the mainline series, and none of them have stood out to me as much as Five Nights at Crap, it's Valentine's Day. Welcome to Five Nights at Love, better known as the Five Nights at Freddy's dating simulator. Now, it was developed by Chibixi and released over 9 years ago on DeviantArt. Yep, this is one of the only FNAF games that I know that originally released on DeviantArt, over GameJolt, or even a paid Patreon. And at the time, it was surprisingly popular and well known for whatever reason, and it was actually played by many of the big YouTubers at the time, like Eve Goes Boom,
Ya har mateys! My name be Foxy the Pirate Fox.
and GT Live. Matt played the FNAF dating sim. Holy damn, oh my god, what? Now, a few weeks back, I was planning on doing the sister location video, but then I realised this video would actually release on Valentine's Day, so I saw that I had an opportunity, and I wanted to do something special for the holiday. And I remember that there used to be a Five Nights at Freddy's dating simulator back in the day. So I went searching, and I found it pretty quickly, and upon getting into the game and doing a little bit of striker research, I found that there is so much more to this game, from multiple large updates to a whole sequel released exclusively on the Google Play and Apple Play stores. So without further ado, make sure to click that subscribe button and let's get into the wild rabbit hole that is the weird world of Five Nights at Freddy's dating simulators. Now, I mentioned that there were multiple updates made to the original game, and each of these updates added brand new generations to the game, which essentially just changed the characters you can encounter within the Five Nights. But before I can talk to you about each of the different updates, I need to run you through the gameplay, which is pretty simple, so this shouldn't take very long. So the game is stretched across 5 nights, similar to most classic Five Nights at Freddy's games. There are 3 characters per generation, not including the weird looking balloon boy who can occasionally encounter and purchase items from. He genuinely scares me. At the start of every single night, you will receive a letter which will occasionally recap some important mechanics. Usually it's just a load of yap though. Anyways, unlike most classic FNAF experiences, there's not really a camera system, nor a traditional power system either. Instead, when pulling up what would be the camera system, you can choose one of 6 rooms to go to. Now, when you go into a room, there's a chance that one of the 3 characters in whatever generation you're playing will appear, and you get the option to either talk or gift. Now, talking to the character will unveil some dialogue, which for the most part is unimportant, and it's just them flirting with you. But you should still pay attention and read along, as in later nights the animatronics will actually ask you questions about some of the dialogue. And if you get the questions wrong, then it just decreases the love meter and it makes it more difficult to rise again in the future. Now, talking to the characters will raise this love meter at the cost of 10% power each time. You're also limited to 3 conversations with a character in one go, but if you just leave the room and then go find them again, you can keep talking with them. I think this might be a bug though, safe to say it doesn't really matter as the game did come out 9 years ago. Now, another thing you can do to raise the love meter is give a gift. Now, this can either be a band-aid, pizza, or flowers. You know, the normal gifts for the person you love. Personally, my girlfriend would murder me if I gave her a pizza or a band-aid found on the floor as a present. As anyone would really, but I bought her some flowers instead earlier today. But you can acquire items in 2 different ways. One by talking to the weird looking balloon guy and buying one of his gifts. But if you reject buying a gift from him, then he'll actually just murder you and you'll unlock a secret ending. Now, if you choose to purchase a gift, you can get one of the 3 before mentioned items, or you can get some of your power back, or you can just get more money. Now, to buy these gifts, you need to head back to the office and pay 3% of your power to do some sweeping. Now, you'll get a random amount of money each time, which you can then take to the balloon boy knockoff and purchase one of his gifts. Now, if you manage to raise up the love meter to 100% for any of the characters, then you'll get a neat little cutscene. For example, here is Foxy's. I knew it from the moment I saw you. I never want you to leave me. So will you marry me? Congratulations. I did it. I got the Foxy ending. But that's the gameplay in a nutshell. I guess we can start talking about each of the generations, starting with the original, which contains Springtrap, Freddy, and Foxy as the main 3 characters. I would say that's pretty weird that Springtrap is here in place of like Bonnie or Chica, but this game did come out around the time of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, so the Springtrap hype would still be at its peak, and obviously Freddy is the namesake of the series, and Foxy was definitely the most popular character by far. So we're going to take a look at the 3 endings available for these characters, starting with Foxy, who I did mention earlier, and he just marries and then kills you. You know, very cutesy, very demo. I hated that sentence. Please don't let me say that again. Then in the Springtrap ending, he'll actually drop the cute act which he'd been keeping up throughout every other encounter across the 5 nights. He says that he's the one who did it, he killed the kids, etc, yap. He then reveals that the cute act was just to lure us in before jump scaring and killing us, thus ending the game. Lastly, we have the Freddy route, which is actually the only one you survive in the original generation. Essentially, he just confesses his love to you and begins kissing you, hence ending the run. Now moving into the second generation, we have a new set of characters, this time being Bonnie, Chica and Mangle over the last group. All the mechanics work the same way as before, we just have a few new characters now. So let's start with the Chica ending, where as soon as you max out the love meter, she'll actually tell you she never wants you to leave and tells you to stay forever. I'm not sure if you survived this ending, so I'll play the clip and you can see for yourself.
5 nights isn't enough time for me. I want you to stay forever.
Then we have the Bonnie ending, where it's a lot more clear that you survive in this one, as Bonnie does admit that he tried to push us away with violent words and threats, but he loves us. Aww. Lastly, we have the Mangle ending, which she isn't in love with us like the other two characters, instead she finds us delicious. Yum yum. Moving on to the Phantom generation, evidently based on the Phantom animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, with the Phantom Puppet and Phantom Freddy, as well as Shadow Bonnie for some reason. So we're gonna kick it off with the Shadow Bonnie ending, where he gets really surprised that he can't scare us, and damn right you can't. I survived playing Graveyard Shift at Freddy's at 1 in the morning, dickhead. But then he forcefully marries us, you know, as you do. Then we have Phantom Freddy, who actually has amnesia. He loves us because we decided to stay with him when he doesn't even know who he is. That's it. That's the Phantom Freddy ending. Now, in the Phantom Puppet ending, we get pretty much the same story as with Springtrap in the original generation, but this time the Phantom Puppet is pretending to be mute rather than cute, and predictably, she jump scares and kills us. Next is the Valentine Special Edition, which actually contains a mix roster, with Plushtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Circus Baby from Sister Location, and Fredbear, who uses design from UCN. Starting with the Plushtrap ending, who I believe forgets everything about you when you leave him alone based on the dialogue. I don't really know though. I don't really understand this ending, so I'll play it now, and maybe you'll understand it better than I do.
Every time you come to me, you talk to me, mate, remember how I like you. Every time you leave again, can't help but fall back. Right back for you, even though I know it's fake. Why do you have this kind of effect on me when I know it's never gonna last? Yeah, I guess. It means that you still come back to me each time you leave. You choose me again this time. I'm so happy. Okay.
Now the Circus Baby ending is much clearer to understand. She accuses us of talking to other people and it doesn't end well from there. The Fredbear ending is the most wholesome of the three, as he gives us some Valentine's chocolates. Aww. Now there is a special mode, and I tried everything I could to unlock it, but I just could not do it. And I don't know if Flash Game's well enough to edit the files to unlock it, so I have no idea what's in there. It didn't even unlock when I completed every single ending, so I have no idea what to do. So whilst playing through the game again to get some footage, I discovered that the secret mode was actually unlocked by using the weird Balloon Boy knockoff. Now what is actually in the secret mode? The answer is... nothing special actually. It's literally just the original generation, except all of the characters have been edited to have clown faces on. Now at the start of the video I mentioned that there was a sequel to this game, and I like to say yes there is. Can I find it? No, I cannot. The sequel is called 5 Days at Jumpscare Academy, and my only look into the game is this pop-up ad that appears on the main menu of the original game. We can see the reappearance of Foxy here, and the addition of the Puppet and Golden Freddy, and also a pretty nerdy looking Bonnie too. But there's not much substance to go off here. I did try using the QR code and it did not work. It just told me that the code had expired. But there was another thing that released on the App Store which actually survived the Great Purge, this time being called 5 Tries at Love. Instead of it being a sequel, it's more of a rebranding of the original game. The gameplay is the exact same, but all the character designs have been altered slightly. And the creator said she did this to try and separate the game from the Five Nights at Freddy's brand, which I can respect. But Five Nights at Love is certainly a product of its time, and it doesn't hold up very well today. But what can you expect from a FNAF dating simulator made in the Adobe Flash player? And the fact it came out 9 years ago probably adds to the sentiment as well. But that's all for this video. Before you go, I have an announcement to make. No, I'm not pissing on the moon, but what I am doing is opening a store. I mentioned my girlfriend earlier, and they've made me plenty of things in the past. For example, the cat hat I use on most of my streams. Now, if you're interested in buying some neat little crochet things, maybe some art commissions too, then go to their Ko-fi store, which you can find in the description below. They have plenty of different things up for sale, and they're also working on different crochet patterns for plushies of both my avatar being the red panda, and our good friend Doge Creations too. So make sure to go and check that out, as well as subscribing if you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me. But anyways, have a happy Valentine's Day everyone. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Goodbye everybody.